Try this one, good soul. This is the day after. And so I need to do this video before I do the William Law, well, post the William Law video for you. Because there's some things we need to talk about. We need to have the talk. Run! I warned you. AI destroyed America. Just like it destroyed Blockbuster. Well, algorithms did. AI is nothing more than it's a virus malware algorithm. It is not artificially intelligent. There's a reason why I was inspired to do AI videos for you, especially lately, to show you how unintelligent AI is. But it was incorporated into everything in America. And I have done the videos when Super Smiths was cyber attacked. All of Smiths, actually. The whole nation, I was told. Nobody was able to pay for groceries that day because of the cyber attack by AI used at Smiths. I also witnessed algorithms destroying other aspects of my life. YouTube sends me ghost subscribers. That's not the actual number of subscribers that I have. It's based upon views. If my views go up, and each source of view counts is all different, which is stupid. It's a real simple thing to do a straight count for views, but YouTube won't do it. They use algorithms, projected views, and so it's difficult to identify the actual view count. But nonetheless, as views go up, so do subscribers. And yet I don't see notifications of new subscribers. So when views tank, which is right after conference, is the most noticeable, subscribers drop. And, you know, are people that unloyal? I can understand if people subscribe hastily because of one video, thinking that I'm cool, I'm attacking the church, and then finding that video that offends them because they too got duped with misinformation. So the William Law video does help you understand the Danite evil. So I think it's best to go over what happened with what is about to come if Kamala? I heard her on SNL, and yet I'm still pronouncing it wrong. But what will happen if she does concede, just like that Mormon guy did, running for president in Utah against Trump. He shouldn't have conceded. And then he ran, wasn't it the 2020 election, or was it the 2022 election? I think it was. He ran against Trump in 2020, and in 2022 he tried running for governor and lost. And or was it Mike Lee? I think it was Mike Lee. Yeah, it was Mike Lee. Because Mike Lee is illegitimate. He's not allowed to be in office, let alone run for office anymore. The 14th Amendment, Section 3. That's right, we need to start with that. It's intended, there's going to be a whole bunch of pictures. I'm going to put them all at the end. So just the thumbnail picture will be up at the front. But also the text of the 14th Amendment. Because this shouldn't have happened. This was utterly humiliating for Harris. Because there's no way she should have lost. No way, if it were a free and fair election. But we were told it was being rigged. We were told. We knew it was happening. So, 14th Amendment from 1868, ratified, or passed June 13th, 1866, ratified July 9th, 1868. So after the Civil War. Section 3 is as follows. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judiciary officer of any state, to support the Constitution of the United States of America. In case you didn't know and understand, we're now fascist. America decided, huh? Book of Mormon warned you. Mormons didn't believe the Book of Mormon. Shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. Not allowed to hold office. Very plain and precious. SCOTUS overthrew it by being guilty of it. Biden didn't do anything about it. It was his job to do something about it. He didn't. And so just because he didn't do anything about it doesn't mean that no harm, no foul. Seriously? No blood, no foul? Dear God, there's been plenty of blood, plenty of fouls. So, Section 1. This is why it's suspicious. Kamala Harris got popular celebrities who control narratives simply by posting on social media, simply by making statements to the press, simply by making songs. And Harris lost. We were warned by Trump's own staff previously. We were warned by others who had gone to prison because of their involvement with Trump. We were warned by Congress with the hearings. Mitt Romney, knowing, quit. Now there's a Danite sweep in Utah. Lot to cover. I hope I get it all. You have Trump. Even the Access Hollywood tape resurfaced with the woman who was the one victim of the video clip. There is no way in hell the majority of Democrats in this nation decided to say, you know what? I'm voting for Trump. Democrats win popular vote always. And Harris lost it. This is a red flag that's going on here. When Biden quit, she took over, and boom, it just exploded. And I did the video warning you. False hope leads to whatever I used, destruction. Bursting of the bubble. You were being played. You were given a false hope that you would get your rights back that were lost under Biden by MAGA, all to be, there's lots of things going on. But Section 1, again, Biden failed. And it was used as an election extortion threat by Harris. All persons, so not your dog and cat, born or naturalized. Any confusion about born? I just did the church news video the other day. The church wants to tell you that being born means conception. Let babies be born from the Family Proclamation. Babies have the right to be born. Oh, dear God. No, it's when it comes out of the womb, it is now a baby. It is now born. And subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor denied to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. And we witnessed, after the overthrow of Roe v. Wade, Texas was the big one in the news, and then there were some others that also made the news, as women tried to flee the state to get an abortion to save their lives. There were those who died. There were those who tried to sue to get the abortion, and they purposely rig it so that it is delayed and the woman goes beyond and is forced to have the baby. And the church came out with their statement to tamper with this election concerning abortion, saying we are against abortion. Sperm has a right to be born. It's just so awful, guys. You have no idea the danger we are all in. So let's go over some of it for you. So yeah, the Imperial March will be in the theme song in the description below. So yeah, both Cox and Curtis won. They're both Danite direct descendants of those who were involved in the murder of Joseph Smith. William Law exposes that Danite pattern that purposely sabotages Mormons unaware of the Danite secret combination. And so yeah, it was a Danite sweep in Utah. So what is coming? not really in order, so we'll just go over them all. The federal government will be gutted and destroyed. Did you not even bother to read Project 2025? I know it's over 900 pages, dear God. That's the whole point. After 9/11, Bush had them come out with the Patriot Act. And it was purposely 1 billion pages so that Congress wouldn't read it and just vote for it. And then it got passed. And then Bush started doing things from it. And it took away powers of Congress. And Congress is going, what are you doing? It was in the Patriot Act. You approved it. I signed it into law. Hello? And so they had to go back and edit it to give power back to Congress. So yes, you gotta pay attention. And I told you, Oaks got leaked by a little sister missionary, and a guy who had a crush on her leaked it on YouTube this year, just the other month. And YouTube, thinking that they were mocking me, recommended it to me, and I was inspired by the Spirit to check it out. And bada book, bada bing, Travis was right all along, and nobody bothered to listen and believe. And there you go, consequences. Yep, everybody wants to do what they want to do and don't want the consequences. Good luck with that. It's going to be a lot of fun when we get to this list. And so yes, you've got to pay attention. Agenda 47. Did you at least go to his website and look at that? I know you never read any of his books. I know you don't listen to any of his rallies. Did you even bother to go to his website and read over Agenda 47? No? So you think everything's going to be great now? America will be made great again. Are you sure? Because they're coming after you. The devil does not support his own. Should have learned that from the Danites. William Law learned the hard way. So, SSI will be stopped. Those who are on SSI, expect that you won't get it anymore. It's unclear as to when certain things will happen. Because now that Trump has been projected to win because of the Electoral College vote, I am expecting states to take the initiative on their own to begin implementing what they want done. So Texas, I expect to take the lead on this, as they've already done it anyway. That they will then immediately do a crackdown on the border, crackdown on women, crackdown on doctors, and others that are in Project 2025 and Agenda 47. And who's going to stop them? Exactly. So understand, SSI is a federal funded thing though, and so that likely will be dealt with February, assuming that no other thing happens. But that's what we're going to get to after this, is the prophecies for you, where nobody's going to be listening anyway. Healthcare. Yep, bye-bye to your healthcare, especially Obamacare. It'll now be too expensive to get healthcare, and people will have to not get healthcare. Only the rich will be able to afford healthcare. So the Democrats are now going to be the Anne Franks of America. Whether they are able to write it in their diary or not, I don't know. But they are literally going to have to hide. There will be people fleeing America now, making plans right now, today, to flee America. Rathlisberger, is that his name? I told Bill Maher on Friday that he's going to stick it out. He's going to go to work as normal. And so expect executions of those who stay. Trump said he's going to get revenge on all his enemies. Rathlisberger is one of them. I saw in the news this morning that Democrat Party members are now wanting to have a conversation. And that sums up the whole problem with the Democrats in a single word. They want to talk about their feelings rather than getting things done, rather than fulfilling their oath to the Constitution, to the American people. And I saw Welcome to Mooseport, where the former president answers a citizen's question with, well, I'm going to form a committee and they're going to discuss it, and then the hometown candidate simply asks her, what's the problem? Well, just get blinds that will prevent the lights from shining in. Come to my store and I'll help you out. Democrats want big government. And they think, we're providing jobs at the same time. But it's not a worthwhile job. It's a make-work job. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints does it all the time with volunteers, so they don't get paid. Right? Mormons over 40 now? Service missions for the elderly. And so, this was utterly humiliating. Some of the fringe news of Democrats went silent after the call was made that Trump won. They didn't even do a video talking about it. They've just gone silent this morning when normally they're not. That was very noticeable. Young Turks, for example, they're blaming Democrats. They acknowledge Trump won, and they're blaming Harris and the Democrats for it. But you got to understand, they're anti-Semite progressives. So abominable. I loved Anna. And after October 7th, dear God, girl. Just like all the press just turned on Israel. And so Netanyahu, speaking of Israel, he called Trump, congratulated him. I saw an Israeli news coverage of it saying that President Trump won and is now the 37th president. And it was in the video, in the thumbnail, and it was in the title of the video. It's 47, guys, not 37. And there's a reason why. It's because of the church. And I did the picture for a video last week or something like that. And I've occasionally brought it up since, because I made a pretty picture out of it. the whole 47 number game this year. It goes all the way back to Brigham Young on the 24th of July, 1847. They love to play the numbers games. Florida has now verboten abortion. So, like I said, Florida is going to join Texas and others to begin doing stuff before Trump takes office. Who's going to stop him? It's a full MAGA government. We still have yet for the final results of the House, but the House already is controlled by MAGA. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the remaining 57 that I last saw will end up being a MAGA controlled House. Senate has been confirmed, and we already know about SCOTUS. You are in very deep trouble, all because of AI. So there will be a national abortion ban. The economy will collapse. And you won't see it because the press, which will be Trump TV, will only report about how great the stock market is for the big corporations, especially those who get cabinet positions or other positions under Trump. They'll be allowed to keep their businesses and have a conflict of interest, as long as they continue to pay their dues to Trump. So we, the people, are the ones that I'm referring to, who will experience an economic collapse. The cost of living will just skyrocket. The quality of employment will tank. The quality of service will tank. Quality of goods will tank. We'll withdraw from NATO. Our allies will now become our enemies, and our enemies will now become our allies. Trump will help Putin against Ukraine now. We'll actually be sending our soldiers in to attack Ukraine. One paper down. There will be a mass fleeing from the country, as I previously talked about. And so Americans who will be directly affected by Trump's abuse from Project 2025 and Agenda 47 will be implemented. People know about it already, and they will be fleeing. There are many people who have already been talking about needing to flee the country. Our intelligence agents will need to flee the country. Democrats will need to flee the country. Not just Americans. And it's just too long of a list. Women need to flee the country. Blacks need to flee the country. Immigrants need to flee the country. DACA needs to flee the country. Wives need to flee the country. Of Americans need to flee the country. If you remember that, Biden tried to allow it, but then it was dismissed in the courts, and that hasn't been resolved yet. And so LGBTQIAPL+, I warned you. You didn't listen. You didn't learn from Nazi Germany. They purposely labeled you to ID you. They allowed you to change your birth certificate. They allowed you to change your driver's license to identify who you are for this moment, this final solution. just like they did to the gays in Nazi Germany, with a pink triangle pointed down. And so, yeah, you want rights? Your rights are gone. There will be a mass deportation. Those who do not flee the country will be deported. Islamists, yeah, you're out. Trump will be the savior of the Jews in Israel to mass murder you if you don't get deported. So there will be mass executions also. But the deportation is for everybody. You have to have a valid ID. And with AI and the internet, people's IDs are easily stolen, so that legitimate citizens will no longer be legitimate. Sandra Bullock in the net. And so this will create an underground movement, but Nazism, oh dear God, it will not last long. They are in control of the military, they're in control of the National Guard, they are in control of the police at all levels, federal and state and county and city and local. Here in Utah, our police have military weaponry and transportation. We have tanks for our police. If you've forgotten the Black Lives Matter protests, which Governor Herbert called domestic terrorism. And so, yep, blacks all get deported. The only way a black can remain in America is if they're rich enough to bribe Trump to stay. But then you have to be by Trump's side all the time so that you don't get mistaken and get deported anyway after paying Trump. This is the danger. Women, likewise. You're going to be sex slaves. Handmaid's Tale. And that's why there's just no way women would allow a Handmaid's Tale, knowing that it's coming if Trump wins. And so after those who don't get deported, those who aren't executed, you're going to have indefinite incarcerations. People just disappeared. Trump ran the test back in 2020, wasn't it? In which he had secret vehicles rounding people up off the streets. It was specifically in the protest states that were going on that year. And the news was covering it as people were being thrown into vehicles and taken to an unknown location and then would eventually get released. Again, Oak said that was a test run. And so expect that on a mass scale across this nation. After the deportations, after the executions, live on Trump TV. The bloodbath. And so I was already a victim of the church doing an indefinite incarceration. There was no trial. There was no conviction. No verdict. No hearings. I was locked up and disappeared. Nobody knew about me. I was literally erased. I told you about that. The Deseret News erased all my comments. My own family, my dad threw away my stuff. My mom saved one binder. So the pictures that I've shown you from that binder, that's that one binder. The other pictures of my mom, that came because Terrell Lynn uploaded on a website mom's pictures that included me as a kid. So I've literally been erased with the indefinite incarceration. So if you don't think it's going to happen, dear God, I am a victim of it. It's coming. And this is what we get to talk about with Utah and what's coming. There will be mass violence. I'm having difficulty believing Islam will just get locked up and shipped out or executed as terrorists to Israel. All of the protesters at the university colleges, yep, they are now insurrectionists and will be executed on the spot. Well done. You got fooled by TikTok with misinformation to be sabotaged for what's about to come. Because you didn't bother to learn history in school. And so mass crime will escalate. This is the King Noah syndrome. Trump is a criminal. He's a convicted rapist. He was convicted for having overturned the 2016 election. Still not doing a single day in prison for his crimes. And he will get away with it all. All of the lawsuits just going to go away. Doesn't matter if they claim that he's guilty in the coming days. Won't matter. Trump now is the candidate. He's the winning candidate. And so, just as the excuses that SCOTUS allowed, he can't be touched now. And so he'll use those arguments to further delay until he can officially take over and then murder the judge and the jury and the prosecution and the one who filed the lawsuit. They're all dead. Fox News has now changed. They are now instead Fox Democracy. No joke! I've got the pictures. They're showing it on their videos. Okay, we don't need this anymore. So yes, this will be one of them shown at the end. Fox News Democracy 24. There's the newly divorced Ainsley Earhart, who told Geraldo Rivera back under Trump, well, why doesn't Trump just bomb Syria? And then Trump goes and bombs Syria. Oh my God. She was never arrested. Fox News Democracy 24. I'm surprised they didn't use an inverted pentagram. Interestingly, Canada used a black backdrop for the United States election results. Hilarious. Hilarious. So I'll leave that on the screen because we need to go over that for what's going to happen. Ooh, there might be a path to Zion after all. Probably not. And so, yeah, Harris, she hid in shame. She didn't do a concession speech last night. And she says sometime today she'll talk. Maybe it's now. It's almost 10 o'clock on the East Coast. And so, yeah, this was utterly humiliating. And so, yeah, AI really destroyed her. As, God. America turns fascist. Constitution is destroyed. I did see a news report that Trump is on the brink of winning. One news source used that in the title of their video. Anybody know about brink? What have I been going over with you? We get to go over it in the final segment, as this is going to be a long video, it looks like. We're already at 40 minutes. America turns fascist, Constitution destroyed, LDS churches to blame. Hell freezes over the day after in Mormon, Utah. Time for your bloodbath, Mormons. So yeah, the damn bubble has burst. They were puffed up with hope, and now they burst it. So Mitt Romney was almost assassinated, made the congressional hearings video footage that I've been using as a picture for you. The Mormon church almost murdered Mitt Romney because he was adopted in. He was not a full Danite. Like Cox and Curtis. Alright. So, Utah. And so again, like I covered last night in the quick vids for the updates, it is surprising that Mormon women are looking like they're voting for Trump. Again, it doesn't make any sense. NBC News did the special segment that I covered for you, in which they were interviewing Mormon women who are conflicted about their church, saying that they need to be put in bondage, and their desire not to be put in bondage, especially under Trump. And yet, let AI prevail. Right, Nelson? I just did the bed Nora thing yesterday. So interesting. So interesting. How we talking about AI right before the election. Not a coinkydink, because there's no such thing. And so, yeah, it's looking like Nevada and Arizona are both going to turn red once they get figured out. I'm not sure if... Yeah, CBS this morning didn't have results for either of them yet either. But yeah, I knew before I went to bed last night that if Trump won Pennsylvania, it was over. So when I heard this morning that Trump had won Pennsylvania, I now accepted the other news that were on my home feed, not the trusted news. YouTube, just, algorithms. It's not about truth, it's about popularity. And so, oh wow, Maine is split. Anyway, so, this is where we talk about the Exodus. 10 more days and it begins. I didn't recall it because it's not a Jewish holy day. It's from 1 Kings 12 that I did the video on for you when I learned about it. And went, crap, more overtime. Stop it. Calgon, take me to Zion. And so this is where the mountains of Ephraim for the Danites get involved. It's just, oh my God, it's not a coincidence because there's no such thing. The Jews are prophesying in 1 Kings chapter 12. That is not literal history. It did not happen. It is a prophecy in Revelation. And Joseph Smith says it's all about us, despite confusion with AI as to who is the man like Moses. Is it Joseph Smith or is it Jesus? Or are they both wrong altogether and it's someone else? I keep proving myself. Nobody wants to believe. By my fruits you're supposed to know me. And yet Mormons use spiritual witness feelings, and they're always wrong. And so, again, as I did the Tabernacles videos for you, likewise, we have the Israel Northern Tribes Tabernacles on the 16th to the 23rd. And the church has to fall, which we're going to go into the scriptures here in just a bit about that. And a transfer of authority needs to be made. And so Governor Cox doesn't need to hand over the government to Nelson. Trump won, so it's Trump who is now going to hand over the keys of government to Nelson. Are you listening? Should I have done this at the beginning? Nobody would have believed me. This is what's coming for Utah. The church did all this. Remember Oaks? He planned it. 2020 was a test run. And AI is involved because Bednar leaked it. The church is doing this to destroy America, to get their kingdom back. However, there's the prophecies. But the church has to fall, and the prophecies will help us out with how the fall will happen. Now that we now know the election results, we'll get a better understanding of them. And I still have no clue how it's going to be given to me so that we can go to Zion, because the video I did the other day or yesterday morning or whenever it was, if the church were just to fall, Mormons won't know what to do, where to go, who to follow, what to believe anymore. There will be Mormons who will do all sorts of different things. There will be those who will claim they're now the leader of the church. There will be Mormons who will say, we need to go to Missouri independence. There will be Mormons who go their own way. There are prepper Mormons who will go on a militant thing and create their own kingdoms here in Utah, in Idaho, in Arizona, in Nevada. But the church has been purposely setting things up, buying up the land, claiming it's for religious purposes, temples. They've been bribing government leaders. They've been making business deals with our enemies, all to ensure their position when it all happens. And our federal government did not listen to me. Biden and Harris didn't listen to me. And now she's been utterly humiliated because she didn't listen to me. The FBI are about to be executed because they didn't listen to me. On live Trump TV. The press, yeah, gone. Fox News Democracy? Gone. Trump will set up a whole new press. A one press nation. Trump TV. And so those from Fox or Newsmax or AON, yeah, they can apply for a job with Trump TV. Kind of helps if you bribe Trump. Tucker Carlson, yeah, he'll come back to Trump TV. Hannity, yeah, he reads Trump bedtime stories every night. So Hannity will be brought over. Ainsley Earhart, because she looks like Ivana. Ivana or Ivanka? What's the daughter's name? But regardless, yeah. Certain people will come, others will get left behind and suffer the fate as the rest of Americans will. As long as you can bribe Trump in some form or fashion. Or provide him sex favors, as that one woman is well known to be his mistress. And she's gone into hiding for this election. That's interesting. But I did notice on the AP they had 4 screens, and the one screen showed the Trump campaign headquarters. And I am horrified that they did not do a red carpet for the women. They were all wearing red dresses. It was awesome. That would have been perfect. Doing a red carpet for women going to the MAGA event. And they blew that opportunity. I mean, Trump, he had the Miss America teen. So he's all about exposing little girls and women. He's a convicted rapist. But yeah, that would have been awesome. But yeah, I saw 6 women all combined on the screen wearing their red dresses. It was awesome. They were partying it up. So, with the church wanting to get their kingdom, they will do like Texas and other states and begin implementing the church's laws, which is Project 2025 and Agenda 47. And so expect to see a purging or disappearing of the homeless. They're going to gather them all together in the homeless shelters because it's winter time now. I saw that the homeless under the overpass are gone this morning. And all the trash was left behind. And so, yeah, they were all rounded up to be put in the shelter because we were literally at freezing temperatures overnight. And so that was a justification for it. Operation Code Blue took effect last night to open up the shelters to have overflow and violate fire codes. I do not want to be in the shelter, but I was. When I exposed the way to perfection. Joseph Fielding Smith Sr. The coup plot. So yeah, I've been right here on the forefront of what's going on and what was about to go on, and here it is, it happened. We're getting to it. There's too much to cover here. And so the church has already ordered you to practice polygamy. Why aren't you obeying? So expect those kinds of things to happen. Who's going to stop us? Those who are apostates? Yeah. What Trump is going to do, the church is going to do here in Utah. Mass deportation, mass exterminations, mass incarcerations. The church will remove all immigrants, even if you're newly citizens. Those who are of a darker skin color, you're gone. Trump's mass deportation will be enforced in Utah. If the church doesn't want that because there's certain loyal church members, tough. Mia Love showed Trump no love. The church has to conform and comply. And this is where I think the prophecies are going to happen now. We're getting to it. And so Utah will already begin to enforce their rules and laws on the public. Like I said, with Trump winning last night, the homeless were gone. But right before the election, police refused to do their job. Yep, I see what's going on. And so LGBTQIAPO+, yeah, I covered it in the Bednar video yesterday. I warned you. You didn't listen. And so this is where I'm curious to find out. Are Democrats so apathetic as pacifists that they will not fight for their rights and freedom? Islam? Yeah, they'll fight. The women and children will claim to be victims, just like Gaza is doing. But the men will fight. And I warned you, Islam is perfectly positioned for an attack on Utah in this valley. Their centers are in key infrastructure vulnerabilities. When the mass deportation occurs in Utah, they're willing to blow themselves up for their cause. So I do not see Islam just willingly getting locked up and getting deported or getting executed for being terrorists. And so I can see now that they will be planning strike attacks because Trump won. This is the consequences. Now the news was covering how Islam is conflicted. Harris is not supporting Islam, but Trump is going to execute him. And so there's a high concentration here in Utah, as well as Michigan. And I'm having difficulty believing that they actually voted for Trump or put none of the above to spite Harris, to allow Trump to win. Because they knew the danger, and America should never have been put in this position. That was something that I intended to put at the beginning of the video as well. Like I said, the Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, none of this should have happened if Biden had followed the Constitution as he was sworn to do. He needed to invoke the Insurrection Act upon taking office, saying that there are those who were involved in the insurrection who are not removed from office. As the chief executive officer, you are hereby notified to leave office, because that's the requirement in the Insurrection Act, and then proceed by removing them from office. He didn't do it. He thought he would work with them. work with the insurrectionists? You mean give aid and comfort to them. Biden also, in giving aid and comfort to MAGA, who were insurrectionists, became an insurrectionist himself. So now he has to leave. See what that did to him? They used his son as an extortion for him. Do what we say and we'll let Hunter go. Oh, you're not doing it. Oh. And Biden quit, and then Hunter has a plea deal. Our president was compromised by this enemy. And so we know Democrats are the ones who have guns. Harris said she'll shoot people. And so yes, there will be bloodbath fighting, civil war. When the states begin to implement Project 2025 and Agenda 47, especially in Texas, there will be fighting. They'll have to fight or flee or get imprisoned. Psychologists are wrong about only fight, flight, or fight. That's stupid. There are more options to do. And so I'm curious to know about Utah. All the little teens who got their information from TikTok that Bednar had to chastise. Are they just going to roll over? That's the way it's been in Utah. The church comes down, sets forth the law, the government enforces it. Mormons obey and grumble about it. Been here too long. Too long. And so Idaho, yeah, they've already banned the OBGYNs. And I heard in the news they're now trying to get rid of kids. So yes, Idaho will be on the forefront of implementing things prematurely. And so it'll be interesting when the church, by implementing it by Governor Cox, implementing it, thinking he's doing it for the church, as the church has most likely already ordered him to do it, will in essence be spiritually handing over the keys to the church. But when will that conflict happen? So, red wall, dear God. Alright, so let's get to scriptures now that we've passed 1 hour. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Putin didn't do a blackout. That would have been hilarious, but with Trump winning, there was no need. It's only if Harris would have won. Putin would have, he has control over our electric power grids, as I've been telling you, and the news has been telling you. Alright, should we start with the Book of Mormon, the Keystone, and then go to the explanations of the Keystone? First Nephi chapter 22 and Second Nephi 28. Okay, so we'll first go to 1 Nephi 22. So in chapter 13, we got introduced to the Great and Abominable Church after 2017. So this is Nelson, when he took over in 2018. And again, if you've not been following me and you are still listening, hi. But you're way behind on information. There are prerequisite knowledges, there's facts that cannot be ignored and dismissed or denied. I've covered it all. This is when I heard on November 4th, 2016, of the solar eclipse over the United States of America on the 21st of August, 2017. I know what that meant, the fall of America. I knew this was the latter days. I knew that America was it. That shocked me. And so the whole time I've been focused on researching and doing the videos for you, so that you can be informed, so that you can understand, so that you can be warned. And these are the consequences for ignoring me all these years. Or if YouTube finally showed you my video, it's YouTube that is to blame. And so, after explaining how great and abominable the great and abominable church is of Christianity, the blood of that great and abominable church, which is the whore of all the earth, referring to Revelation, talking about it, Babylon, and thus first Doctrine and Covenants, section 1, verse 16. They purposely did not decode it for the 1982 edition of the Triple, like they did for others. And they didn't decode section 117 either, because they didn't want to tell you who the Nicolaitan band was. Shall turn upon their own heads. Now it's the church, not the leaders of the church. This is Mormons against Mormons. This is ex-foes against Mormons. This is what we're facing. Now that Trump has won, Utah is Trump, church are going to start implementing things. And this is where people are going to say, what are you doing? Stop it. Leave me alone. Sorry. You voted. I didn't vote for this. Exactly. Consequences. And so then people are going to be upset. Utahns are especially upset. Don't tread on me. Which could also be a theme song in the description below. And so thus wars. We're already seeing violence in Utah escalating this year. And most of it is Mormons murdering their spouses. Oh dear God. And so the sword of their own hands shall fall upon their own heads. They shall be drunken with their own blood. So verse 14 is interesting. Every nation which shall war against thee, O house of Israel, that's Mormons, shall be turned one against another. And so the nations likewise are going to do the same thing. With Trump in power, Putin will then begin his operation. Kim Jong-un into South Korea, China into Taiwan, etc. All over the world, World War III will begin now that Trump has taken over, because the United States will not interfere anymore. Allies become Axis, Axis become allies. America will turn on those who were our friends. And so it's unclear as to when Nelson will call the missionaries home, because he's got to do it in advance, because once it happens, the missionaries will be trapped in whatever country they're in. So like I said, the fall needs to happen first, before civil war and world war breaks out, if there's going to be an orderly thing. But I'm concerned, is what we're about to go over. And so the world wars will be the pit that they themselves fall into for attacking the church. So something happens that the nations are going to be upset with the church about. The church is already buying up land all over the world. I've been trying to do the videos. Putin, if you're listening, apparently not. China, if you're listening, apparently not. Islam, if you're listening, apparently not. And so something is going to get triggered that the church is going to get blamed for. They've been trying to do it, but Mormons are too dense to figure out that they've done it. I do the church news or the church news videos. I do the conference report videos, and nobody listens. You'd rather find out that Oaks turned the BYU video production into literal church history and a sermon at conference that is now law. Oh dear God. I haven't checked to see if that BYU talk was in the Presidents of the Church Lorenzo Snow booklet, lesson manual. That would be hilarious if it's in there. But here we have Zion. And like I said and showed on the map, Zion is surrounded by red. Thus, all that fight against Zion shall be destroyed. So he's merging things here. He's including the war. Well, it's not even Joseph Smith Jr., it's Joseph Smith Sr., by the way. This information he got from William Morgan. This was the plot of the Illuminati that Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball were a part of. The William Law, John C. Bennett. Patterns. And so we have to get to Zion first. But because of the Civil War, people are likely to want to expand their territory into southern Illinois, and thus the need for fighting, because just because we're in Zion doesn't mean we're safe from the fighting. We still have to have a defense to protect when people come to attack us, which people will come to attack us. But once we get Zion established, everybody's going to back off because we're terrible. Section 45. And so the great whore will also be destroyed, who hath perverted the right ways of the Lord. Yea, that great and abominable church shall tumble to the dust, and great shall be the fall thereof. And thus no stone left for the Salt Lake Temple. Nelson shall have no more power over the hearts of Mormons, for the day soon cometh that all the proud and they that do wickedly shall be as stubble, and day cometh that must be burned. Day, abomination of desolation, the day that shall burn as an oven. Okay. So the other one was 28. First talking about the wise, learned, the rich, that are puffed up in the pride of their hearts, who preach false doctrines, who commit whoredoms, pervert the right way of the Lord, blah, blah, blah. For behold, if the inhabitants of the earth shall repent of their wickedness and abominations, they shall not be destroyed. But behold, that great and abominable church, the whore of all the earth, must tumble to the earth, and great must be the fall thereof. For the kingdom of the devil must shake. And they which belong to it must be stirred up unto repentance. done the videos. There's the scripture that my associate of memory was wanting me to know about. When the church falls, Mormons will obviously go through a traumatic faith crisis. Not just a faith crisis. Oh no, Joseph Smith was not a polygamist? Oh no. Whatever shall we do? No, Mormons have to be compelled to be believed. To believe. This is what it's talking about here. Mormons must be stirred up unto repentance, or the devil will grasp them with his everlasting chains, and they shall be stirred up to anger and perish. Don't drive angry. Groundhog Day. For behold, at that day shall he rage in the hearts of the children of men, to stir them up to anger against that which is good. Yeah, just look at all the thumbs down on my videos with Jews in the title. Others he will pacify, lull them away into carnal security. Others he will say, all is well in Zion. Zion prospereth, all is well. Apparently that guy never read his Book of Mormon who did the song All Is Well. Talking about him abandoning his family as he goes to Zion, leaving them behind. His wife gives birth to a baby and he finds out that she had a baby boy. Dear God, what the hell is wrong with you? Go back and get your family or stay with them. Don't go with Brigham. Unbelievable. But it is a good song, but still, it's false doctrine. Just like we're going to the mountains of Ephraim to dwell. O Babylon, we bid thee farewell. There, Babylon. That's how the Danites deceive. Grasping you with his everlasting chains. So, okay, so some of the other stuff in the Doctrine and Covenants to explain this. Section 1, verse 16. Mormons who establish their own righteousness, walketh in their own way after the image of their own personal Jesus, shall perish in Babylon. Even Babylon the Great, which shall fall. And so, knowing of the calamities which shall come upon the face of the inhabitants of the earth, Joseph Smith is to the rescue to warn you. He is not Messiah ben David. Neither is Jesus. Dear God. Okay, section 112. No, it's, it's, upon my house shall it begin, upon my, is it 121 or 120? No, it's not 120. Where is it? No, it's not 120. So it's the temple. We need to get that one before we get to the upon my house begin. Section 112. Yeah, it was 12. That was where I was. I just had to scroll down to 25. Alright. Darkness covereth the earth, gross darkness the minds of the people. All flesh hath become corrupt before my face. Vengeance cometh speedily upon the inhabitants of the earth, a day of wrath, a day of burning, day of desolation, of weeping, wailing, sarcasm. That's gnashing of teeth. It's a linguistic thing. Of mourning, of lamentation, but It's not in here. I added it from other scriptures. And as a whirlwind, KK's priest, reap the whirlwind. It shall come upon all the face of the earth, saith the Lord. And upon my house, the temple, shall it begin. And from my house shall it go forth. First among Mormons, who profess to know my name, and have not known me, who have blasphemed against me in the midst of my house, saith the Lord. So we need to be purified. Refiner of silver from Malachi. Okay, so now we can go to 45. And so I'm wondering if the church buying up the land with temples is what people are going to be concerned about, as the church is going to claim to own the land of Utah and Arizona and Nevada and Wyoming and Idaho and Colorado, even though they turned Democrat for Harris. Thus, people get upset with the church. Hey, no, we do not want you running your little kingdom with your temples possessing the land. Okay? We also need to do 3 Nephi 7. Crap. So much to cover. So we're here in 45. Let's get to it. And so yeah, those who have laughed shall see their folly, those who have mocked shall have calamity, scorners shall be consumed, those who watch for iniquity shall be hewn down and cast into the fire. Into the fire. And you don't want to know about that, because Mormons are going to weep and lament because they persecuted me. And then the first resurrection begins. Again. 10 virgins happens. That's for going to Zion. Okay. And then Zion and New Jerusalem, a land of peace, city of refuge, place of safety for the saints of the Most High God, Emmanuel. The glory of the Lord shall be there, terror of the Lord shall be there, insomuch that the wicked will not come into it. Not only because they won't be allowed in, but they don't want to be a part of it. No monetary system of economy that will eliminate the evil immediately, such that only those who are evil, who want to come into Zion, will only want to come into Zion to destroy it. They will not be allowed in. No black market economy, no secret combination economy, no monetary system of economy. And so among the wicked, every man who will not take sword against his neighbor must flee unto Zion for safety. Shall be gathered out of every nation under heaven, because Brigham Young scattered them and the church never bothered to unite them. But, Brigham Young got busted for granting citizenship to foreigners. The church was shut down for that. And that Oakes goes around telling everybody that America's mean for denying religious freedom for child bride polygamy. And so the inhabitants of Zion are terrible. They don't want an economy. Wherefore we cannot stand. They're using the Constitution of rights to life, liberty, and property. How dare they? shall come to pass among the righteous, gather them from all nations. That's the keys of Moses, in case you missed that. Shall come to Zion, singing and prancing and mincing, tinkling with their feet. And so he says he's going to stop at that point. Okay, Book of Mormon again, and we'll come back to the Doctrine and Covenants. Then there's the Joseph Smith history, and then there's also 19 July 1840. 3rd Nephi 7. See Captain Moroni talking to Pahoran about the coup that's going on with the Kingmen. Yeah, apparently that may still happen. We shall see. Now behold, I will show unto you that they did not establish a king over the land. Trump won, but he's not established yet. January 20th is when he gets established. They're telling us in the Book of Mormon that they have no intention of establishing Trump as president on January 20th. This is where I'm warning that the states are going to purposely instigate problems before Trump takes over, and thus prevent Trump from taking over. The pit which they dig is the pit they fall in. To destroy America. This is the Illuminati plot. This is what they've always done. It's their pattern of practice, and it just got done to America, just like it was done to Joseph Smith. But in that same year, the 30th year, they did destroy upon the judgment seat, yea, did murder the chief judge of the land. They're saying they're now going to assassinate Trump. However, Biden is still president until January 20th. They will not establish Trump as king. So the president is either, Biden is the chief judge, and thus making Harris acting president until January 20th. And if Biden is assassinated by MAGA, Harris as president is going to say, MAGA, you guys won, and here you are still coming after us early, prematurely, jumping the gun, like all the states are going to do. They're so eager to implement fascism that they're going to ruin it. Just like they ruin all of the protests. The Me Too movement, MAGA ruined it. Black Lives Matter protests, MAGA ruined it. They purposely ruin things. Okay, so now we see a bigger picture of what's going on here. So whether this makes it to January 6th, it's unclear. But this is what we're witnessing. So there's no reason to take out Biden. He's out of the picture. He's gone. He's too infirm to be president. And so for a person to take him out would be kind of stupid, but you know, QAnon told their followers that Hillary Clinton owned a pizza parlor shop with a basement, that she was kidnapping babies and sacrificing them to Lucifer and drinking their blood. And so a believer got locked and loaded and stormed the pizza parlor, demanded to be taken to the basement where he can free the babies, and oops, no basement. And so you're going to get, we've already had, but you're going to get more who are going to be like that. who are thinking Trump won, now we can murder Democrats, murder Islam, murder LGBTQIAPL+, murder women, murder immigrants, murder. Biden and Harris are going to go into hiding, most likely. And so it's unclear as to how anything is going to... I don't know how this is going to happen. But we do get a bigger picture of what's going on. Trump will not take office on January 20th, according to the plot. The church needs their kingdom back. If Trump is in power, Trump will demand that the church give loyalty to him, pay him. The church doesn't want that. When the SEC fined them $5 million, the church went and sued their own insurance company to make up the money. The church giveth, and the church will take away from Trump. And so, yeah, this will be very scary over the next couple of months, depending on when things get triggered. But again, if it goes beyond the 16th to the 23rd, I'm seriously, I'm going to be pissed. But yeah, there is no more point and purpose to keep track of all the different news anymore. As nothing will be said. Democrats got humiliated. So there really won't be anything in the news until triggers start happening. And so church news, but after the 23rd, if nothing happens again, which, dear God, it ruins the curse of Joseph Smith. Ooh. Nelson dies, Oaks takes over, and implements Project 2025 written by him and Agenda 47 as king, taking over to implement Utah to push. Oh my God. Ooh. We'll have to wait and see. Idaho chick, I think, is the one who informed me of somebody claiming that Oaks is about to die. But then there's the dream I had on 9/11 where Irene was the one who laid his hands on my head, which means Nelson, Oaks, and Holland are out of the picture for the transfer of authority so we can get you to Zion. Dear God, this is going to be chaos. And so, then everybody separates into tribes, states. The federal government's destroyed, now the states are taking over sovereignty. So not getting Trump on the throne, oh man. Can you imagine that? Even, if Biden dies in office, it's happened before. There have been presidents who died in office. Kamala would become president until January 20th. Nobody would be able to perform January 6th, except for the Speaker of the House. And maybe she then becomes the one assassinated because everybody's upset that she's president for a day. Ooh, that would be wild. Because MAGA, they voted for Trump. AI proved it. And they will not like it that she becomes president. And so conspiracies galore will be flooding social media about how Harris is going to prevent Trump from becoming president, and thus the violence to murder her. It could be Harris after all here instead of Biden, but Biden would still have to be out of the picture through death, because he's still the commander-in-chief, even though, dear God, what did you say? Please don't talk anymore. Stop it. Oh man. And so yeah, if Harris becomes president and she gets assassinated by MAGA, federal government gets destroyed as all hell breaks loose, and then the MAGA states say we're doing our own thing, and the church does their own thing. Ooh, we are looking at lots of potential chaos. Wow. And so, secret combination of the Great and Abominable Church is the one responsible. And Oak said it's us. Okay, so back to the Doctrine and Covenants again. Section 101, verse 51. The enemy came by night, broke down the hedge, and the servants of the noblemen arose and were affrighted and fled. Prophets are gone. They abandon ship with the destruction that comes. Enemy destroyed their works. So all the temples, all the churches destroyed. Temple Square gone. And broke down Mormons. Now behold, the nobleman, the Lord of the vineyard, called upon his servants, said unto them, what the hell are you doing? And so then the Lord of the vineyard said unto one of his servants, it's Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith's gonna do it. The one mighty and strong, the man like Moses, Messiah ben David, Messiah ben Joseph, Emmanuel, Jesus, he's all the same. Go and gather together the residue of my servants. That's the keys of Moses. So there you go, that's who it is. Don't bother checking YouTube or AI. I do have that video with our video for Willard Law or William Law, and this one being a 2-hour video, maybe. We may not get to it, at least until this evening, if at all today. And so this is where he has to gather an army. And I told you, it's a red wall between here and Zion. People have destroyed this valley, destroyed the church. They're pissed with the church. The world is upset with the church. And in so fighting Mormons around the world, civil war breaks out with the fall of the United States, with the chaos for the presidency. Wow. Can you imagine that? Just be intense. I may have to pay attention to the news if that happens. Crap. And so, yeah, straightway unto the land of my vineyard, to Zion, redeem my Zion. Because everybody's got their own state and they're running it sovereignly. And Illinois is surrounded by red states. Illinois could fall under a civil war. And thus, the need to go in and claim Zion. Throw down their tower, scatter their watchmen. They've already destroyed Utah. They've already destroyed this church, destroyed Mormons, and now how are anybody going to believe me anyway? I don't know how this is going to happen. There has to be a transfer of authority from Irene or whoever, whether it's going to fulfill the prophecy dream or not. So that Mormons know and are not confused, and we'll say, okay, fine, but We don't like Travis's beaten tone. He's ugly. His room's a mess. We don't want to be Jewish. Get ye straightway unto my land, break down the walls of my enemies, throw down their towers, scatter their watchmen. So yeah, this is MAGA, in case you hadn't caught on. MAGA is the enemy. The election confirmed it. I've already confirmed it way back when Trump stole the election in 2016. Book of Mormon, 1 Nephi, chapter 1, verse 4. Alrighty. Okay. So then we would need to go to Joseph Smith, 19 July 1840. Which I should have done the picture. Wow, it's almost 9. So it's unclear if Harris has already spoken and conceded or what. Alright. So he's talking about section 101's prophecy of the 12 olive trees, speaking of Zion. Zion will not be in Jackson as some suppose. That's a different temple. That's for his day. Wherever the church is headquartered, they tried to build a temple. They only did Kirtland. Brigham finished Nauvoo and put the inverted pentagram of Lucifer on it. And so they never did build Independence Temple. But that's not the... See, he says, as some suppose, it's not the latter-day Zion. He goes on to tell you that it's Illinois, because he knows where X marks the spot. Joseph Smith translation, Revelation 12:1. He knows where X marks the spot. Redemption of Zion must be built up before the redemption of Zion can take place. Oops, Mormons failed. Okay, we shall build Zion in peace till the servants of the Lord shall begin to lay the foundation of a great and high watchtower. From the parable, the enemy shall come as a thief in the night, and Mormons will be scattered. Wake up the nations. This nation will be on the very verge of crumbling to pieces and tumbling to the ground, and when the Constitution is upon the brink of ruin. That's why I thought it was awesome that the one news station fulfilled the prophecy. Constitution is, or Trump is on the brink of winning. The Constitution will be upon the brink of ruin. Brilliant. Prophecy fulfilled, in case you missed it. And so Mormons will be the staff upon which this nation shall lean, and shall bear away the Constitution from the very verge of destruction, only in Zion. MAGA doesn't want the Constitution. They want monarchy. They want anarchy. They want blood. They want crime. And so here's the part of go tell all my servants who are the strength of my house, young men, middle-aged, come to the land of my vineyard and fight the battle of the Lord. Then the kings and queens shall come. Then the rulers of the earth shall come. Then shall all saints come, yea, the foreign saints. This could be to get Mormons back. The church falls, is destroyed. Missionaries are stranded around the world. And so then, boom, I get the transfer of authority. I'm calling for Zion. I'm calling for the return of Mormons to help. And so that our allied nation leaders help us, me, us, not Trump, us. Realizing the fate of America will determine the fate of the world, our allies need to come to my rescue, our rescue. With the fall of the federal government, especially, so I can see that happening. And, wow. So yeah, our allies are going to come and fight MAGA in America. The kings and queens shall then come, then the rulers of the earth shall come, then shall all saints come, yea, the foreign saints shall come to fight for the Lord, for my vineyard, for in this thing shall be their safety. And they will have no power to choose, but will come as a man fleeth from sudden destruction. But before this time shall these who are now my friends, talking about Brigham Young being the enemy, and thus Danites of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Okay. So Zion and New Jerusalem must be built. That's what we're doing, is the mountain cities. Already got the blueprints. It's going to be awesome. We just got to make it happen. And so, state of Illinois shall become a great and mighty mountain as a city on a hill that shall not be hid. And city of Nauvoo also shall become the greatest city in all the world. So Nauvoo is not Zion. It was Zion when Joseph was there, even though the Danites ruled it. William Law. Okay. And so then, build a great temple as ever Solomon did. It's greater than Solomon's. It's awesome. There's what Brigham Young knew and was referring to, even though he didn't quote it exactly. The Missouri dog shall dare lift a tongue against them, lick up the dust from beneath their feet. Brigham Young knew this sermon. That's where it's hang by a thread rather than brink of ruin. Brigham Young knows, and he still refused to publish it because he's the enemy exposed in here. Alrighty. I prophesy that pleasure parties shall come from England to see the mammoth, and like the Queen of Sheba shall say the half never was told them. Yeah. This is what you need to understand. The temple, my house, is the capstone. So you will be living in my house. That is Zion and New Jerusalem. They are the temples. The city is the temple. Understand that. So everything is fulfilled. Okay. Fascinating. Alrighty. So that did include some extra stuff to be looking for. So to sum up, look for premature actions taken now that Trump has won. Look for a triggering event with this escalation, premature escalation, that will spark all kinds of violence, abuse, crime. and the church falling. And I would expect soon, because today, those who are Trump lovers, who went to bed before hearing the election, they now know. There's going to be partying galore. Just like winning the World Series. Or the Super Bowl. And so, yes, MAGA are bullies. And they will attack those who are not MAGA. Or even if you are MAGA, but you don't look like MAGA. Expect that in the schools, grade schools, colleges. Expect it among your neighbors. Violence. MAGA claiming victory and taking it out prematurely on American citizens with wars and violence. See, once Trump got declared the winner of 2016, white supremacists began acting prematurely. It's coming. White supremacists were already ready for January 6th if necessary. It's not necessary anymore. Or is it? So hang on. The Book of Mormon has already proven itself, but there's just those final things left. The fall of the great and abominable Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. An exodus to Zion, which is going to suck. And the exodus date is the 16th to the 23rd. So like I said, it's going to happen quickly. Instantly, now that Trump has won. 10 more days. So yeah, you're going to see everything escalate. Cops shooting unarmed black men in the back. Putting their knee on their necks. Escalated. It's coming. You're going to see press people get executed for being the wrong press people. Because Trump ordered it. They know Trump will pardon them. They know Trump will pardon those who got locked up for January 6th. Trump said he would do it. Of course he's going to do it. They sacrificed their lives for Trump. So of course he's going to reward them. And then he'll betray them. Because that's what he does. So, dear God, it is going to be all out war and chaos. So, hang on. We're almost there. It needs to be orderly. It needs to be orderly. But yeah, I mean, dear God, all of the Exodus caravans led by bishops, you guys are also going to have to be armed in order to get to Zion. Because those who do not take up the sword have to flee to Zion. And so, yeah, we're prophesied to have to fight to get to Zion and then claim it and then build it before everybody will ignore us as the enemy. We don't like you. You're mean. You won't let us dominate you. It's not fair. Okay. So 2 videos. This one's the longer one. So it may not get up until noon. Crap. And then in the rest of the afternoon will be the 1-hour Willard Law. And so I'm not likely to get the AI fun one. Pictures at the end.